people also not being confident to say what they want. Like, I want this, or I want you to do it like this. They're shy.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of women don't know their bodies. Like, they don't know what they like. They don't know what makes them. So they don't even know how to communicate that. All they know is they're not having a good time.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome once again to another episode. I'm here with our beautiful guest, who also happens to be my best friend, Selasie. Woo!
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so we're gonna start with this one. Selasie, please do us the honor of reading this wonderful problem story we got from 6 Brown Chicks. By the way, follow them. They're very interesting and they usually have really engaging stories. So Selasie, please start us off.
Okay, so I'm a home health nurse. This is my first time dating an antique man. Antique man. Mm-hmm. He's 76, I'm 34. He was my patient. I'm a very thick woman, so I don't want to break his bones. Mm-hmm. I'm attentive and gentle in bed. I worked hard to gain his trust. I pretended to like him.
I pretend to like to give him sponge baths, yeah.
I pretend to like to cook for him. I convinced him that he doesn't disgust me. I wanted to live in his comfortable home and get his money. I was respectful. I always did my dirt with others after I put him to sleep. His hearing is bad, so he talks loudly, and I heard him talking to another woman. I thought I was his main. I confronted him. He said my sex game was weak. He said he could get a better lay in a nursing home. I wanted to prove myself, but he said he'd rather do it himself than waste his last precious days alive being unsatisfied.
Oh my God.
He told my agency to fire me because she can't fuck right.
Jesus.
Send somebody better. I told my boss he was delusional, but I was fired anyway. I lost my job, but the hurtful things he said about my sex really messed up my ego. I asked other lovers if I'm good in bed, and my ex said, "You're not the worst I've ever had, but I can do without it. How do I improve?"
Oh my God, that's terrible. This whole scenario is just...
It's crazy. Like, just imagine like an old 76-year-old pot belly, wrinkles, telling you, young, sexy woman, that your sex game is bad.
Don't forget, she's thick.
Exactly, she's thick too. What he get?
And she's attentive and gentle. 76. You're lucky you've got to somebody who is thick, attentive, and gentle. But what I find very interesting is that, you know, he's 76, yet he has other women.
Yeah.
At 76.
It's the money.
So basically, if you're a dog till you die, basically.
It depends. Some people get to a certain age and they realize what's important, blah, blah, blah. And some people remain a dog to the day they die.
So do you think that for this particular lady, her main priority when it came to, you know, being with this man was because of safety, security, his money? Do you think that's the main?
Of course, her main reason was money. Of course, because look at what she even said. Like, I think, scroll up a little bit. Look at what she even said. Like, she was saying that I convinced him that he doesn't disgust me. It means that he does disgust her, but she had to hide and pretend that he didn't. So it's definitely money. Like, why would somebody who's young and thick want an old man?
So if she was young and thin, it would be more believable. No, because the way I say it is like to young people, it's like thin people.
No.
Okay, then what
just
is it?
In general, like, she's just a younger woman. So, like, why would any younger woman want a guy that is 76? So, and also he's in a nursing home, so he's not in good health either. So he probably doesn't look good. He probably looks a mess. So
And upon all of that, she was able to give him a sponge. Okay, the sponge bath is in her, you know, it's part of her duties, right? So I can't really.
I've done that before. There was this. Oh Lord! So I used to take care of the elderly, like make sure they get their medications and stuff like that. And I had this old man. He was in his 80s, and one of the things I had to do is I had to wash him. So, and when he was completely naked, like, obviously I didn't wash his private parts, but I had to wash his arms, his leg, but I still saw it. And so after I'd washed his arms and legs, then I'd hand him the sponge and he'd wash his. It was very, very, very. So for her to date that, it has to be the money. But is the money even worth it? Like,
that's the question.
Ooh.
That's the question. But then again, if someone can do this, it's understandable how, let's say, 24, 25-year-olds who get with older men too, it's understandable how they can also get with them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, but the other thing I have an issue with is when he told the agency to fire when he told the agency to fire the girl because she can't fuck right. Do you think that's a valid reason to fuck someone? Hey, God. Do you think that's a valid reason to fire someone?
But first of all, isn't it like, but the thing is, he shouldn't be fucking her anyway.
Yeah, he shouldn't. He's 76.
And not only that, it's a job. Like, her job is to take care of him.
Right. Not to fuck him.
So she should be fired on the strength of that. Abusing her power as his nurse, basically. She's not meant to be fucking her patients. So yeah, that's wrong in itself. Yeah. I just don't understand like why she would even put herself in this situation in the first place. Like, okay, yeah, the money like is for the money. But if, let's say, this silly old man ends up saying something stupid like this, like, oh, she can't fuck right, her sex game is weak. Why is she even like allowing it to get to her? Because he's old and he's washed up. Like,
I have another theory too about why young ladies go for sugar daddies.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that the money is a huge factor, I think that some girls think that older guys are easier to get with. Like, it's less complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, he's requiring the standard things that you're already used to. It's not anything new, but like, it doesn't take much work to get with an older person. Like, and he'll give you money. He's going to give you a lot of money. So I feel like from that angle too, like when they judge how easy or difficult it is, then it looks right. Yeah. And also self-esteem as well.
Yeah. I think she has quite low self-esteem for it to get to her. Like, I think if I was messing with an old man and he turned around and was like, oh, I want someone else, you can't do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, bye-bye. Like, would you even get? You're lucky I'm even talking to you. Bye. And the thing is, I think as well, maybe it could also be that he was intimidated by her. He was probably thinking, this girl, after a while, she's probably going to leave and go for someone else. So let me get rid of her before,
Okay, but towards the end, you see, the comment that he made about the fact that her sex game is not really good. And then she went to ask her previous lover if she's good or in bed or not. Do you think that the best way to validate your sexual prowess is necessarily to focus on your dating history? Like, you have a track record of all the men you fucked, and then you ask them to rate you, like, oh, Charlie, how was this thing going? Do you think that's the best way to validate your sex game?
No, of course not. Because if, let's say, you were with the wrong person, the sex isn't going to be as good anyway. So, and the ex is an ex for a reason. Yeah. So maybe his sex game was trash. So, yeah, that's crazy. That
is crazy. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. I want us to do... Okay. Married for 11 years and got a side piece, my friend's wife. Worst sex ever. She lays there like a starfish, looking me in my eyes while she's hollering. Oh my God. Why is she faking orgasms? Who is she performing for? At the motel, she screamed so loud that the people in the next room banged on the wall. It's a turn off because I'm not good in bed. And I know it. I get mine and I go. I can't dump her because she will disrupt my home. She always wants sex, but her wild, erotic exorcism are making me have panic attacks when I'm with my wife. Interesting. Wait, but why is he having panic attacks?
I don't know. I have no idea. The guy is a fool. Like, you're married and then you got a side piece that was your friend's wife. Like,
It's so messy. This is so messy. It's so messy. It's so messy.
Exactly. So if he knows he's not good in bed, when he sleeps with his wife doesn't say anything, like she's just quiet. She just lays there and then is done.
I think by this time she's used to it. So married for 11 years. After the first 3 years, she clocked out. She's mentally tapped out. She's
so she just keeps quiet, takes it, and then that's it.
And fortunately, it's not enough. I mean, it doesn't happen frequently enough, so it's not enough to like bother her or something.
Yeah, exactly. But like, what is also crazy is when he was like at the motel, she screamed so loud that the people in the next room banged on the wall. It's like. What does he really want? I don't know. Like, what was he looking for when he was sleeping with? Why is he cheating in the first place? Like, yeah, I think
it's messy. The first thing that comes to mind is that it's messy. But I want to ask, apart from the fact that, like, this is a thing that women do where they perform.
Yeah.
Like, when they're having sex with their partners, they perform. It's basically a performance.
Yeah.
Why do you think, in most cases, when sex is as animated as it tends to be, like, why do you think the women in these situations let it get to that level, or let it get to
where
that
they fake orgasms?
Yes,
I think that a lot of it is to do with like shyness, like not saying what you want. I feel like a lot of women, especially of like the older generation, they never, like, there are women that they've never experienced good sex ever. Like, they're grown, they're married, they have their kids, but they never really had like good sex. So for them, like, it's something, they don't know what good sex is. So when they're having sex with their husband or their boyfriend or whatever it is, they can't really say what they want because they don't know what they want. And they've seen, like, maybe they've watched porn before, or they've watched movies and they've seen what other women do. So they're just copying it, hoping that that's enough, really. Like, I think that's what.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Have you ever faked an orgasm before?
No.
Have you ever felt the need, like, sometimes I feel like one reason why maybe women might fake an orgasm is because perhaps the sex in itself is not enjoyable. So they're looking for an easy way out. At least if she fakes it, he will know that she tapped out and then he'll get up and go. Have you ever felt like you faked because you want him to finish?
No. No. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. No, I feel like when you're with someone and you enjoy the sex, like, it's not about like faking an orgasm or rushing to finish. It's the whole process. It's everything.
Yeah.
It's the foreplay. It's everything. So you're not like waiting for it to just finish.
Yeah. Also, the Ghanaian society tends to be very conservative, very, very conservative. Yeah. Even though, let me say, the younger generation tends to be more outspoken, outgoing, and maybe more open about these kinds of things. Yeah. The entire atmosphere is very conservative. So we can't have, discussions like this.
Open discussions, yeah.
There's a sex coach. Her name is Ami Shikal.
Oh, her? I've seen her. Yeah. Where she shows couples. Positions and stuff. Yeah.
I feel like for couples who were struggling to have good sex, in such a conservative nature like this, I feel like she could provide like more discreet way of teaching them, because this is something that has to be taught. We need to have a conversation about how to have better sex with our partners. But within it's a bit difficult.
So I think like people just want to get it over with and done, like, or after there's some married couples, once they've had their kids, that's it.
That's no more sex. It's finished.
Like no
more. The sex was for the purpose of procreation. That's it. And we're done.
And then maybe the guy goes elsewhere to get his fix, and then the woman is just at home. So it's sad. It's really sad. But I don't think like anytime soon will this ever be an open discussion. Because I think as well, like, some men have such huge egos. They don't ever want to hear that they're not good in bed or they can't like perform. They don't want to hear that. So they're not gonna ever want to be. They'd rather want a woman to fake it so that they feel Well, not in his case. In his case, he wanted her to be real. But a lot of other men would want a woman to fake it so that he feels that, I've done something.
Yeah.
So.
And another thing about the faking of the orgasm, I think it as a concept, it doesn't make sense. The reason why I say it doesn't make sense is that if you're consistently having bad sex with someone and you're consistently faking your orgasms, there isn't going to be any change. You're going to continuously have really bad sex.
Yeah.
And when you eventually break up and you come and say, oh, the dick wasn't good, but you were there and you were taking it.
Exactly.
So it's
exactly.
It's
people also not being confident to say what they want. Like, I want this, so I want you to do it like this. They're shy.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of women don't know their bodies. Like, they don't know what they like. They don't know what makes them. So they don't even know how to communicate that. All they know is they're not having a good time. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the next one. No. Yeah. 4. This one, thank you so much, darling. Okay, Selasie, could you please read this for me?
Okay, sure. I ended a bad marriage, not my marriage, his marriage, and we moved in together.
She ended his marriage.
So she ended his bad... How do you know? Anyway, okay. I'm beginning to see patterns of his deception. He works late, but doesn't have the money to show for it. He's secretive with his phone. I struggled not to become the insecure bitch his wife was, but the red flags were everywhere. So I installed a mini camera in his car because that's where he takes his calls. He said the most awful things about me. His wife is sweet-talking him and they're still sleeping together. I feel like he used me to make her jealous. I'm hurt, but I know that he cares about me. I'm hurt, but I know that he cares about me. He can't pretend to love me for 2 years. How do I stop him from moving back home? I am the best woman for him. He should know this by now. That is crazy. So that's why I said, you see at the beginning when she was like, I ended a bad marriage, not my marriage, his marriage. I was like, who told you it was bad? Like, that was the first point that stuck out to me. Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I'm of the belief that if you're with someone who left his partner to be with you, your relationship is not going to be...
it's doomed.
Whether it's a marriage or a relationship, it's not going to succeed. I mean, I've seen it happen time and time again.
Well, the thing is,
I
think most of the time, like it doesn't normally work out. But I do feel like there are times where like people marry or get into a relationship with the wrong person. I do feel like that. So in that case, like whilst you're with someone that you really didn't actually have a connection with, there wasn't really a bond. Like people get married for so many reasons, financial reasons, family pressure, all sorts. So if you're one of those people, it's very likely that in the course of your marriage, you meet someone that you wish like, wow, like this is the person I should have actually married or been with. So in that case, like sometimes they do end up divorcing their wife or husband and they end up living happily ever after. I mean, look at Alicia Keys. That's what she did. Yeah.
And even Big Sean and
Janae Aiko, she was married and he stepped in. Exactly. It happens. Like, so I don't always agree with that. But in this case,
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. But also, I feel like another thing we also have to look. So looking at this particular situation, we're seeing elements of control. On her part, like when she begins to suspect him and she installs a mini camera in his car, that's invasion of privacy.
It is,
So that in itself is not a right thing that she did. I know that I understand where she's coming from, but I still feel like there was a breach of privacy. And to be honest with you, when you start looking for stuff, when you have like an itch that there's something going on, when you start searching, when you start digging, you're going to find out everything you're looking for and more. So I feel like as she installed this, she should have begun to brace herself.
For what is to come. Yeah, exactly. And I also feel like as well, because she stole someone's husband, she's worried that he's also gonna step out on her as well. Like it's the insecurity that comes with that as well. And I think as well, like, her saying, I struggled not to become the insecure bitch his wife was. And it's like, why do you think his wife was insecure? Like, he's a cheat. He was cheating with you. And now he's doing the same thing to you. Like, like he will tell you whatever it is he wants to tell you about his marriage. But then there's that, and then there's the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for joining us in today's session. We're very interested in hearing what you have to say. So please share your comments with us. Would love to be there. And also, another big shout out to 6 Brown Chicks. Follow them. Very interesting stories. Thank you once again. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.